Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Tech support's coming out Tuesday. I have to close that up. Today, I'm going to be responding to or reacting to, however you want to call that. Make my screen here a little bit better. There we go. Maybe I'll put it right here. This will be fine. Okay, here we go. So I'm responding to Honest Duane with his founder mode considered harmful. This just came out. I was kind of listening to it, and instead of yelling at the screen, I'm going to yell at this screen while I record it. So hello. Here we go.
So I filled out a form to do a speed run funding thing with the VC. And after I figured out the form, I submitted it, did my stuff, clicked submit, saw that it thanked me for submitting, and then I went on my way and did my own thing. But I kept getting these stupid emails asking me to finish it, even though I've already done that multiple times at this point. Because the first time I got that email, I thought, well, maybe there's a second part that I just forgot about. Let me just double check. And then I ended up filling out the form again just to make sure that everything was correct and submitted correctly. This time I did it with extreme conservation around everything and just trying to be conservative around making sure everything was the I's were dotted, the T's were crossed, etc. Because I thought, well, I already did this, but they're telling me it wasn't done right, so might as well just do it to be kind, right? And then I got the third email asking me to do it. And then I got the fourth email. And then I got the fifth email. And then I got the sixth email from a16z.com. And at this point, I just say, fuck it. I don't care. Leave me alone. And I pointed that out.
I love Duane. He's actually out of work right now, and he's very skilled, and he's been in the business a long time. So I do like understand some of the stuff he says, but it seems like maybe he's been in the business too long and just been normalized to a lot of stuff. But I think he'd be excited about hearing about adventure-driven development. I don't know. Let's keep listening.
The email that I sent back, your automation is broken. Please fix it. I've repeatedly filled out your form multiple times. So any claim that I have not means your system is simply broken. Every time you've asked me to, I have filled out whatever in an effort to be kind. But I feel like my kindness is being abused now, and I'm sick of how ineffective you are being, as it's clear that you are in manager mode and not founder mode. For the number of times I'm getting the same clearly automated email about events that do not align with facts. Please stop being so disengaged from your business. This is not just the A16Z brand, it's your brand that you are ruining, and I hate to see that.
Yeah, so I did work for an A16Z company, and he seems like that guy just shotguns, like he just puts money all over the place, just spews it, whatever. Because the guy that I'm not gonna say which company, but let's just say the funding rounds were they didn't do a lot of due diligence. Let's just put it that way. So A16Z, lots of money. Kind of, he can be. I guess he can afford to be sloppy and silly with his stuff. So I'm gonna read this article here from Paul Graham. About this founder Brian Chesky talking about stuff. So let's say I'm just gonna read it. I'm terrible at this. I'm trying to get better at it. So still bear with me, and I'll leave, of course, links to it so you can fast forward this if you want. September 2024. Founder mode is the title of this article from Paul Graham. September 24. Okay, at a YC event last week, Brian Chesky gave a talk that everyone who was there will remember. Most founders I talked to afterward said that it was the best they'd ever heard. Ron Conway, for the first time in his life, forgot to take notes. I'm not going to try to reproduce it here. Instead, I want to talk about the question it raised. The theme of Brian's talk was that the conventional wisdom about how to run a larger company is mistaken. As Airbnb grew, well-meaning people advised him to take the company advised him he had to run the company in a certain size. Okay, let me start over. Sorry, bear with me. As Airbnb grew, well-meaning people advised him that he had to run the company in a certain way for it to scale. Their advice could be optimistically summarized as hire good people and give them room to do their jobs. Now that is normally true, but a lot of times, okay, let's just keep going. He followed this advice and the results were disastrous. So he had to figure out a better way on his own, which he did partly by studying how Steve Jobs ran Apple. So far, it seems to be working. Airbnb's free cash flow margin is now among the best in Silicon Valley. Okay. So they're doing well with this new strategy. The audience at this event included a lot of the most successful founders we've funded, and one after another said the same thing happened to them. So it's very true that the people who are in the big hump, right? So the founders you get the big hump of the bell curve, right? And the founders are this little tiny 1%, 2% slice that actually have gone through all this bullshit, have gone through the tutorials, personal projects, the senior roles. the tunnels of fake agile doom, and the death marches, the tar pits of seemingly good ideas like social media, creative market, lava lakes of direct competition. We're just going to copy something else somebody else did, right? The dungeon grinder, the Jira burn down slog, and the feature factory. If we just get the feature that they have, we'll win too. And then the lead mine of tech solutions. I mean, they have to go through all this bullshit. If they didn't, they're going to get a little blindsided about what the reality is of like most of these companies, okay, right? So they've been given the same advice about how to run their companies as it grew instead of helping the companies that damage them. Why was everyone telling these founders the wrong things? I just told you why. Because business schools, the top Ivy League, they all are about production companies, factories, production companies. This knowledge work thing is brand new. They're trying to pigeonhole into a production process. They want to make it egalitarian. Every player in the thing is equal to every other player, right? Any boot camp junior level candidate is equal to every other one. Every senior, we can put a label on it. We'll call them senior, and every senior is exchangeable cog with every other one. And even though these technologies are completely crazy, brand new a lot of times, untested, unverified by people who we don't know what their interests are 100% on all these open source libraries. Okay, so it's a big mess, right? And you expect everyone to be equally yoked right here. We just name them senior level 6, and they're going to be exchangeable with every other senior level 6. Wrong. Knowledge work doesn't work like that. Sorry, it's not scalable. You do have to get the right kind of people if you want to actually go into these new markets, right? If you want to actually go conquer a dragon at the top with the gold prize, you're going to have people that have gone through all this bullshit and still stick around, right? Still stick around after going through all that mess, and they have their wits about them somehow, and they want to continue on, right? That's the real key, because you just can't throw money at people. So it's just going to be a small segment of people who are willing to go through the bullshit. Whereas the big hump, they want just a cushy job. They want to just manage a process that's already working, right? And they want to make sure nobody else. They want to build a moat so nobody else can come and attack their stuff, right? That's management. And it's valid, right? It's just necessary, useful. Once you have a system that's delivering value in a way that people want it, yeah, that's what you need. But there's this dream like, oh, you have to get there super like, and it's they think that like as soon as you get there, then you're done. It's like, what? No, where's the innovation? Where's the collaboration? To tick 16 boxes on a Jira form. It's like, come on now. Okay, why was everybody telling these founders the round things? Because they didn't know. That was the big mystery to me. Oh, really? A big mystery, right? Have you gone to these colleges? Are they teaching how to do this stuff? Like knowledge work is different than a production line? No, never heard of it? Okay, there's a reason. This is trade secrets. These are trade secrets. And I'm sure Paul Graham, I can't tell if he knows that or understands it or just hasn't been down in here. And he hasn't seen all the bullshit and where it's coming from. Or he just hasn't had a chance to back away with it. Or he's trying to famoose. He's trying to famoose you. I don't know. I can't tell yet. We'll find out, right? After mulling it over for a bit, I figured out the answer. What they were being told was how to run a company you hadn't founded. Yes, exactly. The machine, how to run a company if you're merely the professional manager. Right. The managerial class. Now, what has these Ivy League institutions turned into? They turned into a way to screen for the managerial class, which they will install when they're political crony people into these positions of power all over the place, into the managerial system, right? America is not an innovation system. It's a managerial system, right? And that's what's been taken over one's brains. And they think that because World War II was so successful, because island America could bomb the shit out of everybody else and not get touched, right? They think that that's just the way things are done. And they got this creature on their brain called managerialism. They think they can just break everything up to a series of steps. It doesn't work like that. The only thing these projects, C, Unix, these were not sanctioned products. I mean, these were not sanctioned top-down things. These were guys trying to break out of that stuff. And we're like, oh yeah, this is the best way to do it. Yeah, but without them taking that chance and taking that risk. And there were many other ones that failed. Let's just say there wasn't guaranteed, okay? And it would just happen to be the right thing at the right place. Because we were all feeling this, but some people were smart enough. Those 2% founders, those ones are smart enough to find those paths. And now we're like, oh yeah, it's just the way things are done. It's like, no, someone took major risks to get that, of their career, of their friendships, of everything, right? PDP 8 C was developed in Unix on a PDP-8 in a back room that was a junk machine. Come on, now this is how it works, right? This is the adventure driven. These are the people who drive it forward. Is the adventure driven ones, okay? It's not the managers who've got a process that's handed to them. Here, just make sure you don't fuck it up and keep going, just like we told you. And if you follow every box tick that we've put out and solidified and put into stone, as long as there's nobody else coming up with any other technology, like that's possible, right? And we're gonna be fine. And that's what the managers, right? That's the middle people, and that we need those people, right? We need people to flip the burger and to tick the box and make sure that they're doing it properly, like we showed them how to do it. But developing how the thing that we're showing them to do, how that gets developed, no one knows because it's trade secret, right? It's looking at all this bullshit, finding some sort of inefficiency somewhere, and hooking it up to a customer base somehow, right? Cooking those two together. And that is so difficult to do, and you can't actually codify it. All you can do is get people that have been through this slog, still want to go do it, right? They would still want to go do it. Because most people are just like, okay, I just want out. Okay, Google acquired my company, fine, I get $10 million, I'm out. I'm going to go do yoga, I'm going to go meditate, I'm going to go skydiving, whatever the hell. Like, you guys are so... You guys want to make it a managerial process so bad, you suck all the joy out of it. You suck all the creativity out of it. The only way out is this adventure-driven stuff. Okay, here we go. How to build a first. But this MO is so much less effective that the founders, it feels broken because it's completely antithetical. You can't have it's just a different type of personality, and it's really strange. I can't tell if this guy's like so autistic that he can't see that there's different types of people. We're not just interchangeable cogs, and people do have different experiences and have much better capabilities because they've been down inside a lead mine for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And they're like, yes, by solving all these technical problems, you now have this skill set. But if you can step out of it, you might have a chance to do something actually different. So that's why the founders, like as soon as you found a company, and you have some idea, the managers are going to come in, and you're going to need them, and they're going to kill it, and those founders eventually are going to go gone. And then they're going to left with the managers who are totally okay with it. But then the market starts to shrink, and they go, why aren't we number one at all times? Well, the founder made it all. We were number one. It's like, well, you kicked that guy out, and you got rid of the processes that made that possible. So what are you going to do? Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Okay. But this modus operandi is so much less effective than the founders. To the founders, it feels broken because it is broken. Compared to what a tech company where you're trying to find new areas to give value and get profit for giving value to people. No, when the aristocracy is like fighting each other and using their skills to provide value to regular people, that's when we have an amazing society. When managers take over, it's just box ticking and whatever. It's going to definitely kill the thing, right? Eventually, every company I've been at that had a founder startup thing that got acquired in, that company was dust. So I can't tell if it's oftentimes they're acquiring these companies to like not have competition, because the immediate thing they do is they box tick every goddamn thing, and all the people are like, yeah, I don't really want to do the timesheets. The guys that the guys that are like driving it forward is like, we're not doing timesheets. You're not going to be able to slice time off this thing. It's going to take as long as it takes, man. If we knew how long it takes, we wouldn't need you guys. We would just do the thing and take as long as it takes, right? I don't know, man. It's just, here we go. Okay, in effect, there are two different ways to run a company: founder mode and manager mode. Until now, most people, even in Silicon Valley, have implicitly assumed that scaling a startup meant switching to manager mode. And what do you expect? How would they know any different, sir? This founder mode stuff, this adventure-driven development is so scary to like most people. It sounds actually insane. And most of the people that actually do it, you look at what they're doing, it's like, this is insane. This makes no sense. But maybe they got something. Maybe they see something. And the only way to prove it is like, are they got revenue? Do they got revenue? They got customers? They got traction? Are they delivering value? Are they making sales? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Is the customers being served? If you got that, you got everything else. If you don't got that, your days are numbered, right? All right. Okay, so till now, okay, we can infer the existence of another mode from the dismay of founders who've tried it and the success of their attempts to escape from it. There are, as far as I know, no books. Really? Nobody's broken this down yet because it's not possible to break down. What are you gonna go? You're gonna break down? It's like, no, it's like, this is the problem I'm having when I'm shopping around this micro monopoly thing. It's like, well, what is it you're trying to do? So we're gonna try to figure that out. We're gonna figure that out. I have some ideas, some avenues to go down, but we don't know what it is. Well, you gotta know ahead of time. It's like, no, these companies that we're relying on, Unix, C, all this operating system stuff that's visual, Windows, that wasn't done that way. That wasn't created that way. We didn't know. They didn't know what they're getting into. Xerox didn't know what those guys were doing at Park. They didn't know they were doing a windowing system. We make copy machines, dude. What are you doing? We got a good business with these copy machines. What are you windowing software? What the hell are you talking about, Alan Kay? What are you referring to, Dynabook? What are you talking about? Yeah, all that stuff comes out of that. It's like these crazy ideas, like, oh, that's not possible. That doesn't make sense. Like that, who would want that? And they're like, no, we're talking to people who want it out here already. We're seeing stuff, and we can't put it in terms to make it you understand because you want to go to manager mode all the goddamn time. You want to go right to manager mode. It's like, yes, we just want to scale it up. It's like, well, maybe you can't scale it up. Maybe you got to accept that this is just part of this mysterious process called humanity. Right? It's taste. Like the developers that create these things, it's taste, it's design, it's aesthetic. See, he intentionally limited the keywords to make it as simple as possible to do what he was trying to do, which was basically replace assembly language. That's aesthetics, that's art, that's design, that's philosophy, that's taste, that's history, that's context. That's understanding your customer and what their needs are. Putting yourselves in their shoes as opposed to how can we extract as much profit? Can we slice a couple points off this ticket? I'm efficient. Maybe we could do a 2-pointer because that means it's 2 weeks, right? Or 2 days, or 1 day, a day, 2 hours. Maybe you could do it in 1.3 hours. Could you do 1.3? Yeah, that stuff's done. Dunzo. That was never the thing to begin with. That's all waterfall. It's been proven to be completely false. Here it is right here. Agile has become confused and meaningless. Scrum is a minor detail at best. Time estimates are fantasies and pure technical debt. If you don't understand what technical debt really is by the guy that defined the term, click this link. Go to the document that's in the deedly-do below. Click this link and you'll know what technical debt is. And you'll understand that time estimates are pure technical debt. Get off there. All right, here we go. We can already guess some of the ways it'll differ. One of the ways, the way managers are taught to run companies seems like to be a modular design. Oh, seems to be. No, it is. These people have been trained by the Harvard elite to trust every process. Every business process breaks down to these Porter's 4 forces. It's the Porter's 4 forces model. It's your SWOT analysis. This is business. It's like, no, dude. Okay, that's after we have product market fit. Yes, after we have product market fit, all that stuff applies. How many widgets can you ship per hour, per day, all that stuff, advertising budgets, and blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't matter if people don't buy the thing. People don't want the thing, it don't matter. And if the timing's off, you're out of luck. And if you're trying to copycat somebody else and you're like, oh, the guy's about to get there, well, you might be right, you might be wrong, right? So that's the risk. And people want to limit this thing. They want to try and change the knowledge work risk curve. And it's just, you can't change it. It's always there. Now it's just, do you want to do battle with the fucking dragon? Do you want to fight this guy? Do you want to go up here, or do you want to fight somebody else's little bug battles? Right? You can do that. You can do a dev agency and you can find somebody else that's trying to climb the mountain. Right? You can try and help them out. It pays well. You'll eat well. That silver spoon will be very tasty. Here we go. Okay, so the way managers at the top companies of modular design in the sense you treat subtrees of the org as black boxes. Exactly. That is what they are taught. Paul Graham, did you know? How is it this guy has been in this field? I can't tell if he's trolling or if he's actually asking this question. How could you be around these Harvard grads and not understand that that's what they're taught? MBA, like Harvard MBA. What do you think they're teaching them? Holy shit. Okay, you tell your direct reports what to do, and it's up to them to figure out how. Exactly. You don't got to know any of this stuff. You can just sit right here and say, oh, you go He's already been in the tumble juice. Like, you go, dude, figure it out. It's like, oh, so you're trying to like, you don't even understand the tools. You don't even understand how to use the tools or understand the systems. And you're trying to be up here mentoring people, right? And you don't know, have never been in these pits. You don't even know what's involved down here. Really? Because if you're saying that seems like that you treat subshades like black box, yes, that is what they're told, dude. I can't. This is crazy to people. Listen to this guy. I can't tell if he's trolling, man. You tell me. In the comments below. Is this guy trolling me? I can't tell. Okay, but you don't get involved with the details of what they do. Are you kidding me? And you be micromanaging them? Oh my gosh. You got to know what you're trying to go after. You got to know the problem that you're trying to solve for your customers. If you're trying to solve a new problem. Now, if you're in management mode, you got all that stuff solved for you. You got 10 years on this thing, right? 5 years at least. You can just coast. You don't have to really think about this customer problem. You're trying to get the widget price down. What? Managers are trying to get the widget price down, not meet customer demand in a new way that makes a new market happen. Come on now. Let me make myself bigger here. Let me see here. Okay. All right. I hope you don't mind my rants. I'm saying this anyway out loud if you weren't here or not. Because this stuff's crazy. All right. Hire good people and give them room to do their jobs. Sounds great when it's described that way, doesn't it? Except in practice, judging from the report of the founder after founder, what this turns out to mean is hire professional fakers and let them drive the company to the ground. Exactly, because these guys in this zero interest rate environment where they got a lot of free money and they just got some friends, all they have to do is bring a guy down to the strip club and he gets to do some coke off a stripper's ass and you got that stock contracts on. Yeah, they haven't been through these mines, dude. They haven't been up the mountain, right? Because they keep getting fooled by fakers. I wonder why. Hire professional fakers. How do you know they're fakers? You only know after the fact. Well, how did you know before the fact? Because you haven't been down in the mines, man. Unless you've been down here in this garbage and not just skipped up to the top and trying to do this stuff up here at the top, you're gonna get taken by all these guys down here. And they better believe that those B-level and C-level players who are going to be, who can talk real good, you're not going to be able to figure out. And all they want is a year's salary, right? They want a year's salary. And they'll maximum 2 years anyway, because they're going to be out of there, man. They're not really in it for the adventure. They're in it for the same reason you're in it. The money! Give me the goddamn money. So why do you think that that's happening? Oh, and they've learned the correct technique for doing knowledge work. No, they got the same training everybody else got, which is I'm a cog in the machine, and the only thing I can do to get out of it is to have some personality, right? To have a personality that's bold, that's like, and get all the buzzwords together and do some flam on someone that's not quite understanding how business is done in America, I guess. I mean, when you have access to free money, you can make a lot of mistakes, and you get a lot of people fooling you. Like, a fool is money is soon parted. What the hell is this? This has been the American environment, the American business tech environment for the last 15 years. So it's kind of like somewhat understandable, but not really. I've been in this thing since the 80s, so I've seen this thing go up and down, and people that were just like super nerds, only ones involved. It was actually really fun when that was happening. And then you got the money people come along. It's like, we're going to make $1 billion. And then it's like, why are people not creative people involved? It's like, because you just made all this money over here. Just come over and talk the talk and you're in. And they wonder why things don't work. Okay. One thing I've noticed both Brian's talk and when talking to founders afterwards was the idea of being gaslit. Oh, you got flim-flamed by some professional flim-flamers. These guys are crazy. I guess they really may have come up at a time. I don't know. This program guy. Jesus Christ. So this guy. Oh, I got flim-flammed. What happened? Why are people honest with me? It's like, where do you think these people come from? Look, man, the people that got into the thing early, they have been through a lot of this stuff, and they're like, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this crazy idea called Airbnb. It's completely nuts. We're going to take over a hotel. We're trying to get over hotels. Okay, the people that are attracted to that are on the quest. The epic quest, like, what can we do? How can we do it? And they get attracted to that stuff, right? And that's a very small number of people. But there's going to be a small number of those. Sorry. There's no support system that allows people to come up through this stuff. You have to fight and elbow your way up. just to get up there, to even get to this level where you can go do a dragon raid. So the people there's only gonna be a few people that, because most people just don't want to do that shit, man. Are you crazy? Do you know how much risk is involved? You're asking people to change their lives for this. Because there's no support for it. There's absolutely zero support for it. You get in these organizations, it's box stickers all the way. It's fake agile doom, death marches. You got your drum beat. Gotta do it every spring, every 2 weeks. And then let's cut some time in the schedule. Cut the schedule. Can we get this faster? And then ticket factory. It's feature factory. It's Jared burn down slog. Yeah, that's the surest way to destroy any creativity that would possibly get you to the point where you could fight a dragon, right? So it's these people that are on these that are like just not willing to put up with. Honest Duane's kind of in that category a little bit, but he's halfway in between. Founders feel like they're being gaslit from both sides by people telling them to run their companies like this, just by people working for them when they do. It's so funny. I avoided most of this stuff. I sold my company in 2003 for various reasons, and then I just completely got out of tech completely for about 10 years or so. 7-10 years, I don't know, a long time. And I did a lot of yoga, meditation. I was just doing something else. And when I came back around 2012 to the field, I was like, I heard all these buzzwords, all this stuff, like, oh yeah, we've changed. It was totally great now. It's the most awesome thing ever. And then I get in there, it's like, this is just waterfall, you guys, with lots of pretty dressing on it. No, it's not. It's agile. It's the most amazing thing ever. We're going to ship on time, 50 times a year. It's like, this is tiny bit better, but it's not this amazing thing. You're still doing all the waterfall stuff. And I would point it out to him, and I would like, eventually I was like, okay, I'm just gonna shut up about this. And it took me a while to get it all together and to collect my thoughts into like what's actually going on here. And that's where this is where adventure-driven development came out of, dealing with all that baloney. Okay, founders feel like they're being gaslit from both sides by people telling them, or the companies imagine the people working for them when they do. Usually when everyone around you disagrees with you, your assumption should be that you're mistaken. But this is one of the rare exceptions. VCs who haven't been founders themselves don't know how founders should run companies, and C-level execs as a class includes some of the most skillful liars in the world. Yes. All right, yes. Whatever founder mode consists of, it's pretty clear it's going to break the principle the CEO should engage with the company only via his direct reports. Exactly. So if you're going to be doing adventure-driven development, which is what he's really talking about, this founder mode stuff, you got to have someone that's got both skin in the game and bit in the game. And can't just like, you just guys go do it. I've worked for these companies. It's horrible. People think they talk so sweetly, but they don't know anything. They are really good mimickers. They hear the mimic. Oh, I know that word. Oh, I'm gonna write that down. You bring that up. Synergy. Synergy. Is that cohesion? Synergy. Synergy. I'm gonna bring that up at the next board meeting. We need to synergize. It's those guys. It's those guys. They just like think they know the people because they go to all the parties. They get the back room. They get the cocaine off the stripper's ass. They do the deals, right? So they're making all those moves with those people who are in a different class, right? There's different class. They get free access to the money printer somehow. Somehow they got a friend over here. They got the money printer, and it does translate zero to doing adventure-driven development. Zero. All that stuff is moot. You can bullshit and play around with words with those guys, but you can't do that to a customer. I mean, you might be able to get away with a little bit, but to get a slick player like that to do sales, yeah, he's going to go high end. He's going to go the high end. So he's going to sell the dream. Which is why they're in charge and don't know what the hell they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing. All they know how to do is get the money. They got the money. They get the money. But the customers, that can wait, right? 0 interest rate. We can wait. We can just wait. We'll figure it out as we get there, right? But they have no idea. All I know is that they can get the money. Okay. So whatever founder mode consists of, it's pretty clear it's going to break the principle that CEO should engage with the company only via his direct reports. Skip level meetings will become the norm as their practice so unusual there's a name for it. So these guys, there's a reason why they don't want to be involved, because they don't know. They know how to get the money. They don't know how to run a company or meet customer demand. You're asking them like, I speak French. The language of negotiation. Negotiation. I don't speak technical binary language. We'll hire some A students to do that work. So crazy. These people are fucking nuts. But this is America in the 20s to 2020s. All right. 2000s to 2020s. It's been a fun ride. I'll tell you what. It's been a good one. Okay, so skip level. You skip level. Yeah, we're not gonna contact the dragon, and the guy, the commander in chief, isn't anywhere near the battlefield and has no idea where the people are, or what the battles are, or anything that's happened to these. Has no idea what a lead mine is. Never heard of a lava field. Doesn't know what a tar pit is. But he's gonna tell you what to do, right? So what I'm trying to get to is all these companies, these Silicon Valley big name companies, have been built on this garbage. And they're all up for grabs. All up for grabs. All of them will be defunct in 5 to 10 years. You will not know any of these names. People will be moving on to something else. And the only reason they got it is because they've got advertising money right now, and that's falling apart. So all these companies are wide open for attack by adventure-driven development. Wide open. Completely wide open. Because they're just staffed by incompetent people who... If you've ever tried to do changes at some of these companies, like say, hey, there's another thing over here we might be able to do. So yeah, we could put that in the backlog. It's like, yeah, in other words, dismissed, young little boy. We've already made this decision up top. Okay, this is coming down from up top. But the customer is telling me that it would be nicer to have this box over here that didn't make it so this thing happened 16 times a day for them. Look, we'll put that on the backlog. Okay. We'll get to it maybe 16 sprints from now. Child, we've already decided this. And this is how they run these things. Okay, all right. Okay, so because there's a name for it. And once you abandon that constraint, there are a huge number of permutations to choose from. For example, Steve Jobs used to run an annual treat for what he considered the 100 most important people at Apple, and these were not the 100 highest people in the highest org chart. Yeah, right, exactly. Steve Jobs doesn't understand because he's been down here. He went through all this bullshit, man. He knows all the scams these frickas will play. The sweet talkers. Oh, we'll get it done in we're going to use an agile process this time. We're gonna do a burn down chart. They're going to be guaranteed to know how long it's going to take. So when we get that budget, we're going to get that thing. We're going to stick it and ticket. We're going to stick it with tickets. These guys are crazy. All right. Can you imagine the force of will it would take to do this to the average company? Yeah, it would just be impossible. And yet, imagine how useful a thing could be. It could make a big company feel like a startup, and that's really the key, right? The true startups I've worked at is scary. You don't know if you're going to have a job next week. You don't know. But you got to do this stuff, which was hella fun. And time went by quickly, and I didn't really care how much money I made because I was just having a blast. Because I wasn't doing this box ticking Jira bullshit. Like when I came back and they had that Jira ticketing stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe this will work. It just made everything harder and more fucked up and stranger and just distorted and odd. So the people were like, oh, we replaced communication word mouth to mouth, where I can just call you up or come over to my desk and we can talk about things. We did this ticketing thing. Ugh, it's so terrible. Steve presumably wouldn't have kept these retreats if they didn't work. Exactly. I didn't know he did this, but that's perfect shit right there. Because it is a square root of the number of people in the organization that are doing any of the real work anyway. So you can look that one up. So if 100 people, only 10 people are putting like 50% of the load. 10 people are doing, so the square root of the number of people are half that. The 50% of the work is done by that, or 80%, whatever number you want to throw in there. There's only a certain number of people are doing it, and then there's the people that need to be doing the burger flipping. Like we're telling which burgers to make, right? Are we making a burger? Are we making a taco? Are we making some kind of poke bowl? How do we know that? Well, the burger flippers aren't going to know that. They're not going to. They just want to put the stuff in the bowl. Okay, they want to put the stuff in the bowl, to pay by the hour, and go home. Okay, they got families, they got hobbies, they got things they want to do. Right? Fine. That's not us, right? We're in this other category of. No. We want to find out which food we're going to eat. Which seasoning, it's nuance, it's taste. it's tradition, it's history, it's philosophy, it's psychology, it's art. I don't know what another word for it. Like all the things that go together, your language, how you approach things, how you see things, humor. The software is so fucking humorless. We need more humor in this stuff because it's totally inhuman right now. Humor, human, those go together. Yay, they go together, okay? Okay, but I've never heard of a company doing this. Another company does. Yeah, I have. I've heard of this. I've worked at these companies that have done this, right? And they're like, "Fuck you! You're not invited. Step up. Hey, you want to get invited to the thing?" A couple of people told me this. Like, you want to get invited up here? You want to get up here? You're gonna have to go down here. But I don't want to go down. Oh, you don't want to? Oh, you don't want to go down there? Well, how are you gonna find out all these tricks? How are you gonna find out all the bullshit shit that this goes on? How are you going to know without going down here and experiencing? Like, we can tell you, look, man, people are going to talk a lot of bullshit. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to talk. They're going to blow a lot of sunshine up your ass. How are you going to know? I can tell you ones that have happened before, but they're going to come up with new ones. There's going to come a new thing. It's like a mindset. It's a mindset. It's an attitude. It's a. You kind of have to be down here to see it. You can't just skip up to the top and go, why isn't everybody going to attack the dragon? Ooh. Why isn't many people being awesome? You think if you don't know how to detect a thief, that you might have a thief in your midst? And there's different types of thievery? And if you haven't been a thief, if you haven't been down here, and then you've had to be a thief in some of these current conditions, you're not going to see how thievery works. So you're going to think, you're going to get totally blindsided by that constantly. Until you go, hey, wait a second. These people are lying to me. And I'm not finding out till 18 months later, and they've already collected their check and I'm long gone. Okay. So it's a good idea or a bad one. We still don't know. That's how little we know about Finder mode. Well, if you want to know about Finder mode, here it is. This Finder mode and adventure-driven development is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's this stuff here. And if you're going to try and find people who are courageous and stuff, they got to have skin in the game. It can't just be money. Sorry, it can't just be money. Obviously, founders can't keep running a 2,000-person company the way we had when 12. Exactly, yes. But you can have separation. You can definitely have separation. Look, all those people doing the management stuff, they should be put into the management stuff. The knowledge worker stuff needs to be a different category. Now, if you're just doing maintenance mode, that's maybe on the manager side. Maintenance mode, legacy stuff, put the management side. But we're trying to find something new, trying to forge a new path, a new trail. Adventure-driven is the only way you're going to get there. You might get lucky. You might get a little lucky if you don't do adventure-driven, but you're not. But you have to get lucky. The adventure-driven development increases your luck exponentially. Okay, that's the whole point. There's going to have to be some amount of delegation. Yes, of course. Where the borders of autonomy end up and how sharp their ability will probably vary from company to company. Yes, that is the secret sauce. That is the trade secret that we will. It's either hidden or so foreign to a manager type mind that it might as well be in another language, right? You say, okay, so if we do 17%, you're saying 17% on the developers and 22%. No, that's not how it works. You have to collect these people who've been down in here and are still willing and have some creativity and some mind left to see that there's a bunch of stuff we can cut out of these processes, these managerial processes, which is all this shit down here, all this managerial crap. We can cut a lot of it out and forge a new path. But we have to be smart about it, right? We got to kind of know what hasn't worked, what has worked, what's good, what's not good. And that's taste. And that's experience. And you can't be egalitarian about it. You can't just be a cog, level 7 software developer, and cog and pull them out of here and put them out here. It's like, no, you have to respect someone's experience points. It's not just their level. It's all this other stuff that goes into it. That's what Steve Jobs brought. That's what Woz brought. He brought philosophy. Like Woz brought philosophy about how to design software and how to design hardware. The biggest thing he brought was this eye of simplicity by being very detail-oriented and honestly autistic levels of detail about how this stuff works. You have to love it. So the people that love it, right? Those are the people that are going to really do what it takes to have empathy with the customer, to give them what their mind is like, and give it to them. That's why these things are popular. Apple One wasn't the only computer. There were many other computers for years and years before the Apple One came along. Why was the Apple One popular? Because it was so simplistic and so direct and so clever, and they gave it away for a little while, and they didn't expect anything in return. And it attracted A-level talent. It was like, wow, this is really different. This is something special. This is genius, right? Talented people can see other people's talented genius, because a lot of it's like cutting stuff away, right? What can we get rid of? How can we make this simpler? How can we make this more direct, right? How can we give to the customer the way they want it with least amount of friction, right? That's what we're doing here. How can we get rid of somebody else's job? How can we kill those competition? Well, we don't. A lot of times, the adventure-driven people don't even think about the competition. It's like we see this new area, we want to go in there, and we'll see where it goes, right? And there's a possibility of failure. I know managers. Oh my God, failure! Failure! They even vary from time to time. The same company, and as managers earn trust. Yeah, that's the problem. They don't trust their developers, because guess what? Managers don't know any of this crap, man. Where would they learn it? There's no training you can go through to understand how this knowledge stuff works. You actually have to do it. That's why the people that really understand how to manage technical workers, like knowledge workers, are the people who have actually done it and been down in the pit. They're down the pit. And they've taken the knocks, and they're like, hey, man, there's things you got to know about how things are. And then it's taste. Like, what are you trying to do? Who is this for? Why? Not just, okay, we have a widget, let's bang out 24 more this week. Okay, that's not what it is. Okay, but okay. So founder mode will be more complicated than manager mode. No, really? Wow, you think? Wow. Paul Graham, you are a genius. You think manager mode is gonna be you're gonna be more complicated? Wait, so founder mode is gonna be complicated? Well, really? Figuring out something somebody hasn't done before, it's gonna be a little more difficult, you think? Other than having a preset thing that's going to be the same thing as it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All I got to do is make sure we cut our costs by 2% each year. Do it. But it also work better. Well, may work better. It may work better, depending on who you get, who've been through all this stuff here. It may work better. It may not. I've been at companies where it didn't work better. Actually worked worse, because the people involved were shitheads, and they still had this thing, and this like, we're gonna scale this to 1 trillion. I'm gonna be a trillionaire. It's like, no, you're not. Stop. You're focusing on the wrong things, man. No, I'm not. We're gonna scale this with microservices to 1 billion users. Okay, man. We already know from the examples of individual founders groping their way toward. Okay. Indeed, another prediction I'll make as a founder mode is that once we figure out what it is, that's what's the problem. I'll tell you what it is. We'll find the number of individual founders we'll find that a number of individual founders we're already most of the way there, except that in doing what they did, they were regarded by many as eccentric or worse. Yes, of course they are, ding dong. Do you think people respected Steve Jobs when he was being a total fucking dick? No, they fucking thought he was a prick, dude. He was weird. Dropping acid, only eating apples for a month. The guy's loopy. But he could empathize with the user. He could empathize with the customer. And the customer is almost as loopy as he is. So, come on now. You can't just... Steve Jobs, replicate. No, it's the attitude that Steve Jobs had, which is adventure-driven development. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go through my series. It's in the book. This is an outline. It's my first draft, or second draft, and I'm still tuning it up. But this is what I've seen how it works. It's people that have this mindset of going for an epic journey, an epic quest And we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know where it's going to end. We're probably going to, we may fail, likely going to fail. And we're likely to make a whole bunch of mistakes along the way. And we're going to lose people. We're going to piss people off, right? For good reasons, for the customer, not just because we want to. Because for the customer, that's the thing that people don't remember about Steve Jobs is he was being a dick for the customer because these engineers and stuff that want to make it a goddamn management process because that's what they've been trained and there's nothing else. No one has talked about this. This is trade secrets. And even if you tell them, it's like, oh, what do you mean? There's like 16% to 22% of this, 12% of 16 of those. And no, that's not it. It's I see something different, a different way of going. I think we can get there profitably and do something to help some people out. Make their lives easier, make it more fun, make it more, show off a little maybe. I don't know how amazing it could be. That's not going to be your box stickers, man. That's not going to be your management personnel, okay? Those aren't going to be your Harvard MBAs, right? Curiously enough, it's encouraging thought that we still know so little about founder mode. This is crazy. I've known about this shit since the 80s. And maybe because I took that break after I sold my company and came back and I just saw how silly it was and how they were trying to talk about the thing that I was already doing back in the 80s. We were already doing it. We didn't know at the time. We were just doing it. I was working at Silicon Beach, a game company. They have that game mindset of we're going through a quest. It's likely you're not going to make it. We go anyway, right? We go forward. We move forward. What can we do with this thing? How is it? What's possible here? Can we do something that hasn't been done before? And then the box stickers are right behind. Like as soon as you get traction, they're coming up. So as adventurers, we have to know that that's going to be a part of it. They're going to write the lines that we're going up the mountain, the path that we're trudging up the mountain will eventually be a road. It'll eventually be a road. But we're going up there first because that's what we do, because that's how we are. And if we can be supported in that and rewarded in that and thanked for it and like recognized for that, that's awesome. That's really how you get people involved. All these companies I worked at that did the adventure-driven development, which they didn't call at the time, these early companies, people were like, wow, this is amazing what you guys have done here. And we like the guys in development got massive respect. And then, yes, they put in the fucking hours. Yeah, they did all the stuff, but they also got, like, respected. Like, okay, that was pretty easy. Not like, get the ticket done faster, you bastard. Wait, you're holding out on us. You're what is that? What they got with the points? You're padding the points too much. We never talked about points. We talked about what feature they're working on. How is it going to work? How what's it going to do? How's it going to do this? Supply this thing. How long is it going to take? I don't know. When we're done, look here. You want to come sit beside me and we can work some of this stuff out? Look, we can try and work it. Look, man, there's things in here that like we're building stuff on stuff that's really not meant to do what we're doing with it. Like using Pascal to write an operating system. Are you insane? But that's what they did. Macintosh was written in Pascal. Pascal. Shave tongue. It's horrible. I knew what I get what they were trying to do, but with that, no. Jesus criminy. All right, so we look at what founders have achieved already. They've achieved this against the headwind of bad advice. Exactly, because it's a trade secret. All this stuff is a trade secret. This attitude of how to approach these problems, how to approach a new market, it's a trade secret, man. Even if they told you, they try and tell you, but they can't put it down because they're in it. It's sort of like a guy that's really good at picking up girls, and you ask him, how do you pick up girls? Well, dude, just go up to them and say hello and spin them around and spank them on the ass and tell them they're ugly. What do you mean? That's not nice. No, it's not nice. That's what I do. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. And they go try it. Like, bang, you're a bitch. Like it's slapped across the face. Like, your pickup techniques don't work. I tried your pickup. I tried your pickup techniques and they didn't work. These guys. All right, let's listen to a little bit more of Honest Duane.
That was what I replied back with. And I am sick of it. And I'm realizing through the internet and the people that I'm connected with that this idea of founder mode is starting to get out of control. It's a meme that has actively infiltrated the development community and nobody understands what it is. I went around and I looked at all.
True. I'll give them that. They still want to go like, okay, so I can just like, I can do fire mode and it'll be safer. I can get my project done on time and faster, be efficient. I can get funding for my project if I talk about fire mode. No, nope, you probably won't actually because it's too much risk involved. You're not the people you're trying to get money from are already in management mode, right? They're already in management mode. Their thing is not about how we can make more money or how we can attack the market. It's like how can I keep more money and show off to my buddy about what other people will pull off. All right, so those are the people. So a lot of these companies I was working for were not venture capital backed. They were friends and family backed and bootstrapped. So they actually had to get product market fit before they could even hire anybody. Now, one of the companies, it was VC, but they started off not VC. It was a production company. It was one of these things, Chaos Tools. It was one of these. It was a dev agency that was very creative, and they were working for movies. They were basically making software for movie producers before that was a thing. All this custom code that wasn't available on the video editing systems and standard stuff. It wasn't just available at the time. So they came out of that mode, and they got VC to do production software, like commercial software based on the stuff that they were doing, which was really funny because those guys did not share any secrets at all. They did not tell us anything. I was working on a project that was directly one of the things that it was this painterly effects called Paint Alchemy. Paint Alchemy 2 was the one I worked on. And I was trying to get advice from them because they were in the production side of the Chaos Tools, and there was a commercial software. And they just wouldn't talk to me. They're like, no, fuck you, dude. Maybe the one of them actually told me was this Curtis. He works at PDX or something. He's a big time computer science guy. He's like, figure it out, dude. I was like, what do you mean, figure it out? It's like, yeah. And they were like, walked away. I'm like, wait, I was told that you could help me with this. Like, nah. And I was being super nice to the guy and cool. And we were friends, like friendly. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna show you how that works. I'm like, we work here together. Like, take it up with my boss. I was like, oh shit. So that's kind of when I was like, because I was still in this adventure-driven mode, but I could also see other people also in adventure-driven mode. And they could see what I was trying to do. Right? I was going to take their secret sauce in their mind, right, that they've worked very hard on, and I was going to take their secret sauce and give it to everybody, and so it wouldn't be the secret sauce anymore. And that's pretty common.
All the different stuff that happened around it, where it got its impetus, and where it actually came from was a talk on YC. It was a guy who basically said, look, I had to rebuild my company because of the pandemic. Here's how I did it. I actually started talking to my employees instead of ignoring them, and I became more engaged and actually started doing verification of things that they said, which sounds great, but apparently it contradicts the MBA's guidance, which is to simply delegate, treat everybody as a subtree of a black box, and at that point, don't ask them questions because that's micromanaging. No, it's not.
For the MBAs in a factory, it is. It would be considered micromanaging someone in a factory. In a factory setting, yes. Oh, I just want you to put the widget in the box. But put the widget in laying it like this and put it like this and do this thing. And then you sit over their shoulder and make sure they do it every 2-3 seconds as opposed to like checking their work later, right? That's a factory thing. And that makes total sense, right? You don't want somebody over your shoulder. I mean, you can't even do it anyway. Like the managers wouldn't be able to do that. So they're still trying to pigeonhole. So a lot of this stuff is like not understanding that software development is knowledge work. That's a lot of this stuff is just like, not understanding software development is knowledge work. And it's not production line work.
Yes. Okay. And so I saw this and I read it, and you should too. You should definitely check out this link. I'll add it to the thing below. But what it ultimately comes down to is founders are being given bad advice to just trust their people and not validate anything. And that is a terrible idea.
Yeah, of course. Especially with all the scoundrels around that are attracted to money. And we have zero free money floating around for the last 15 years. All you do is like bullshit your way a little bit. And you can go to one company, to the next company, to the next company, and just do the bullshitting the whole way. And you wonder who all these people are getting laid off. I wonder where they are, who those people are. Ooh.
When I was an executive at a Fortune 50 company, half my job was the verify part of trust but verify.
So it means somebody hired people that didn't know what they were talking about. Anyway, I'll let him go. He goes into basically similar stuff as me. He goes a little off into like how to do the management stuff. It's like I don't know if you can really like. Where are these big companies? If you've hired people on that were not compatible with this adventure-driven stuff, and we're just looking to get a paycheck and collect the paycheck, which most people know, and I don't blame them either in this environment. You kidding me? It's so risky. It's people trying to. What's the formula? What's the step-by-step procedure? It's like doesn't work like that. Yeah, so I'm Chris Dennis, and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.